Boom, boom. Are we live on both? I think so. Yep. 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 Okay. Hey, what's going on? Okay, good. Yeah. Desktop one on. What is cracking? Why is my chat so big? What do they think I'm blind? I can turn on timestamps. I can see mod activity. Whoa. Hey, if someone's in here from TikTok, can you type something so I can make sure my TikTok chat's working? Thank you for literally typing something. Thank you, Mrs. K. What's going on? Sorry, there's been too many times where it hasn't worked. Now I'm paranoid. I figured people just haven't started saying anything yet, but now I'm paranoid. Something. Nice. I was supposed to put out a video today, and I did not. My life has just gotten so busy. It's very intense. Who would have thought 2 jobs and 2 children under 3 that I'd have a busy life? Who would have thought? Not me. I thought it'd be easy. I thought I'd have plenty of time. I actually got on to work today, and I was like, because sometimes I work from home and sometimes I go into the office, and I was like, just make the video now, but it's probably not the right thing to do. I should probably be working on my 9 to 5 when it's 9 to 5. You know what I mean? If I want to keep my job. It's a good job. I like my job. Until I can do this full time. This weather's so bipolar. I know. It's going to be like that for a little bit longer, but then as we get into the middle of next week, look at this. We start to get a kind of permanent heat settling in potentially, so I'm sticking to I think as we get into mid-April, severe weather really kicks on. We do, you know, we're going to be in an end zone neutral. I mean, we already have end zone neutral conditions, but it's going to verify as we get closer to May. So, through April, as we move through April, we'll get closer to May. It will, in fact, verify. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me. Believe me. Check. 1 2 1 2. Oh yeah, good. I can hear myself. Is Georgia affected? No. I mean, yeah, Georgia's got some heat coming, but yeah. I mean, look at this. Look at the East Coast, right? Cold the next couple days, then warm, right? And then there we go again. Cold as we get into this weekend. It's gonna be a crappy cold weekend out east. We get into early next week, warm, a little more cold air for the mid-Atlantic and New England. And then, but look, this warm air comes in as we get into Wednesday, Thursday next week. And now maybe we finally get some sustained warmth. Sustained warmth right in time. I mean, right around April, literally April 1st. That sustained warmth starts to move in. And you know what happens as we get into April. I don't know about active in the beginning of April. It could be, though. We're going to have a lot of energy with all this heat, but I don't quite see it in the models yet. It could be. I'm still thinking getting into this at least the second week of April. What are you talking about, Brandon? My stash is the same as it's always been. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. Same. It's all the same length, right? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. All right, fine. You caught me. Yeah. Yep, you caught me. You caught me. Let me move this cardioid. Let's see. There we go. Check. Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, why not? My wife hates it, but, you know. I like it. Oh. When will Philly get warm for good? Listen, as we get into April 1st right now, the GFS and Euro and Canadian see that warm up moving in and finally sustaining like around April 1st to April 3rd. So a little bit longer, maybe just about 7 to 10 days out, you guys get some permanent warmth. Sadie. What's going on, Sadie? Sorry if that was loud. Is winter cold front done for in South Louisiana? Probably down there, yes. Yeah. Probably down there, yes. I would say so. Heading into a super El Nino for next winter? Probably. Let's take a look. Probably. What do you guys think? Does that look like a super El Nino to you? This is only seeing out to November. This is a moderate El Nino right there, right? The average shows a moderate El Nino, but you've got some interesting stuff happening up here, right? This is Enzo neutral. This is actually, yeah, this is our neutral. Then we get down here. We get into weak. We get into moderate. This is showing us trying to creep into moderate. But these up here are showing us trying to go into a super strong El Nino. I think it could happen. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. What do you guys think? You think we're over? You think? What do you guys think? Do we stay weak? Do you go moderate? Do we get strong? I want to know chat's opinion. I'll tell you this. We're climbing pretty fast right now towards an El Nino. We're a little ahead. I think we're getting ahead of schedule. Take a look at our 7-day anomaly change, and Enzo 3.4. This is a big, really what drives this. We're warming up. The Atlantic's cold. Atlantic and Gulf are cooling down over the last 7 days, but look what's happening in the main development region. We're getting very warm here. It's where hurricane season starts. But if we're still lingering in neutral when hurricane season starts, we do have a nice warm MDR. So I've been saying if we're gonna have any sort of strong landfalling hurricane or any sort of strong hurricane this year that tries to approach, upper lower Antilles, Central America, North America, Gulf, any of our Caribbean islands, Bahamas. Anything tries to get out here strong, we're going to need to stay in a neutral. The Americas, I should say. We're going to need to still be in a neutral, and this nice warm MDR is going to help with that. I really don't think if we don't get anything early on in hurricane season. Listen, the last 2 hurricane seasons have been backloaded. This one's going to be front-loaded, in my opinion, if there's any sort of loading going on. Dublissa, what's going on? Andy, what's going on? Lauren, what's going on? KJ, what's going on? You think moderate El Nino? Yeah, it's really hard to get to a strong. Or super. Yeah. You think hurricane season is going to hit the U.S. hard? I don't think so, no. I don't think so. We got some storms with hail and frequent lightning last night in Ohio. I know you did. I know you did. Oh, crap. I changed them. What did I just do? Crap. One second, guys. What did I do? I changed the light. Hold up. There we go. Yep, you got hit pretty hard. And guess what? Guess what? Here is your day. What do we have? A day 5 or day 4 outlook? Day 4 outlook. Thursday. More severe weather. Potentially. We can talk about this in a second. More severe weather. I'm going to slide on over here. Yeah. Stretching all the way from central Missouri all the way out towards Cleveland, Ohio, including Detroit. This will likely expand a little bit. We can get into kind of who this could affect. I mean, you quickly want to take a look at kind of the new Rufus. We could just take a look at it here. Real quickly, let's take a look. 00Z, it's just starting to load. Okay, let's give it a second. Actually, what we're going to do then is we'll go back over here. And here's our instability. Not much. I'm guessing we have some sort of TORHAS here. Probably 1.0, 2.0 sig tor param. Let's see. Oh, marginal tor. I'll transfer this over here so you guys can see it better. Marginal tor, I lied. And sig tor param, 1.5. Hey, look at that. I said 1 to 2. Not bad. Velocity shear, a tiny bit of rotational shear. This isn't the craziest thing. A lot of inhibition. Interesting looking photograph. This is too early out, though, to really be paying too close attention to these soundings. 84 hours, 70, really just over 70 hours out. There you go. Tor hazard, 2.0 sig tor param. You got some rotation. I was looking at this earlier. Not the soundings. I was looking at the setup here with the Cape and the our 850 millibar winds. And this last severe setup we had, guys, was strictly, let me push this back over here, was basically strictly hail. There's a little bit of wind, but not much of a tornado threat. There could be a tornado threat with this. Well, let me show you why. Okay, so here's our setup. Right? This is 10 p.m. Thursday. We've got a jet, unlike what we just had. We've got a jet. This is going to let me, I hate this. Let me use this. That is so annoying. We've got the jet there. One second, let me get this thing out. So there's going to probably be a tornado threat with this, a wind threat, and it's going to be an all, it's going to be, we're going to have a threat for hail, wind, tornado. So, not a bad jet streak at the 850 millibar level. We're talking about 70 knots, 85 mile per hour winds right above the surface, straight through Ohio. Interesting to me. I think they're going to move their little yellow circle. I think it's out here right now. I think it's going to be transferred a little bit farther out west, right? Based on that, and also based on when we take a look at kind of where the temperature gradient is here, just with the latest updates. So let's go back over here and take a look at what's going on. We look at the temperatures as we get into Thursday. Here we go. Sorry. Yeah, we'll look at the Euro 12Z. This is a little bit sloppy, but this also may allow for a greater chance for tornadoes through this area as well, because there's a lot. This temperature gradient is kind of dispersed. There's gonna be a lot of area here along this warm front for supercells to latch onto, tornadic supercells to latch onto, especially out here in Missouri, actually. Northeastern, Indiana, Northwestern, Ohio. Interesting setup here. I haven't looked at the dew points yet. All right, let's look at the dew points. Same time. Let's go. Where's Midwest? What the heck? Dew points in the low 60s. High. The dew points aren't crazy. Temperature, I think there may be an issue with inhibition. We've got a moderate baroclinic boundary with that, with the temperatures, and we've got an okay. This isn't like we're going from that dry. I mean, we're going from like mid 30s into low 60s with the dew points here. I think there could be an issue with some of these storms getting initiated, but if they do, they'll have a nice little boundary to latch onto. And they'll have 85-mile-per-hour winds right above the surface at the 850 millibar level for that'll help spin them up. So, Cape doesn't look like we'll be pushing much Cape, which is our main instability. That again has to do with the temperatures and dew points not being that impressive here. But 1,000 joules per kilogram, 800 joules per kilogram of Cape will give you a tornado if you got enough wind shear, which we will. Low instability, high shear day. Inhibition across the board. Conditional. If we do get tornadoes, I think we could get EF0 to weak EF2s, probably EF0 to EF1s. That could actually end up somewhat long tracking only because I think it's going to be an easy boundary for them to latch onto. I'd suspect this turns into more of a wind event than a tornado. I don't see a tornado outbreak here. I think this is going to turn into more of a wind event. I'd say they end up giving it maybe a 5% SIG-1 hatch for tornadoes, and they put an enhanced SIG-1 to SIG-2 for wind. And then we end up getting like a probably a slight on the hail. That's my thoughts. Take it to the bank, clip it. Let's see what happens. Anyways, any questions? Oh, I never ran my intro. I don't think this stream's going to be too long today. There's not much to talk about, you know what I mean? But we got to run the intro, and then I'm going to start answering all your guys' questions, all right? Take it to the bank, cash it. I'm always right. I've never been wrong about anything my entire life. Everything I've ever said has come true. Yeah.
We look a lot at the moon.
There it is. They look at the moon for our winter forecast.
I like enough people.
We've had
I like enough people to be in here before I do the intro. Why?
this week.
There's so little people in my stream.
We'll do it live. Daddy needs some coffee.
Bob donated 1,000.
Thanks, Bob.
He says, Connor, you are the best weatherman, and you're very tall, smart, and handsome.
Yeah, that's all very true, actually. It's got to be the mustache. Thanks, Bob. Kentucky weather be making me mad, Connor. I was literally tanning yesterday. Yeah, it's going to be like that for another like 7 days. And like I said, as we get in towards April 1st, there's an extended warm up. I think the first 10 days of April could just be warm, quiet with severe weather. And then we get into the end of the second week of April and things start to really pick up. Thanks, Mason. Thanks, Mason. Peace. That gets me every time. All right. All right, let's see here. Godzilla El Nino. I don't know if we're going to have a Godzilla El Nino. Maybe. At this rate. Yeah, you know, look. Droughts of severe weather are good. Or droughts of significant weather are good. But I'm bored. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over we're just going to go over a quick little Well, does anyone have any specific questions? Before I go into like a 7-day forecast for everyone. We should entertain the CFS run for fun. Should we do it? I'll do it. Okay. Turned on my extra light so you guys can see my mustache better. Okay, CFS. Let's go. Ooh, yeah, I don't think they even have that in here. I think we need to go into Pivotal. Draw the meme. True. That always gets it going. Watseka, Illinois on Thursday. Pay attention. You could get some bad severe weather. Too early to tell though. We're still at day 4. We'll get a lot of information tomorrow night as we get into our 0-0Zs of our short ranges. So we'll have good information for you tomorrow night. I should be streaming tomorrow night. So KJ DeBlista, maybe I'll actually get a video out. I know people are probably disappointed in me. Listen, I don't know what to say. I'm getting smacked in the face by life lately. Antique, Lauren, NTXP, Jasmine, what's going on? All right, let's take a little look at this. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. And okay. I feel like this is zoomed out. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it was zoomed out. Let's look at the CFS. You guys want to look at the CFS? I bet you the CFS has like a major snowstorm for the southeast here or something. You know, I bet you it's doing CFS things. Here's the CFS. There you go. Snowstorm for the Mid-Atlantic. All right, guys, Mid-Atlantic, you got a snowstorm coming this weekend. Hope you guys are ready. CFS says so. Snowstorm. Baltimore, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, everyone in between. There you go. There's your snowstorm. CFS. Take it to the bank. Run with it. All right. Big heat wave. More snow for New England. I love the CFS. Ooh, major snowstorm out there for the Rockies, Northern Plains. You'll love to see it. Big severe weather outbreak for Dixie Alley, according to the CFS, is ahead. Another big major tornado outbreak for the Central and Southern Plains is ahead, according to the CFS. Love it. Tropical storm off the coast of the Mid-Atlantic. Beautiful. Yep. CFS is definitely onto something, guys. More severe weather for the Tennessee Valley and the Carolinas. All right. It's going to be active, I think. Confirmed, guys. It's going to be active. Confirmed. CFS did everything I wanted it to do. More snowstorms for the Mid-Atlantic, tropical systems in early April, mega tornado outbreaks. You can always count on the CFS to have a little fun. All right, here's what's happening. Over the next couple of days, 48 hours, we still have some cold air funneling into the east, Great Lakes region, Mid-Atlantic, New England. But we have a lot of heat building across the plains. A lot of heat. Still a little moisture funneling up here into the Pacific Northwest, portions of northern Idaho and northwestern Montana. Nothing too eventful, though, guys. This happens here. Why are our dew points so low up here? Well, our winds, we don't really have much southerly winds kicking in here. So we've got dew points being dragged in from the Pacific all the way up into the northeast. So dew points, and again, we're not really having this kind of north-south strong flow. So you're not having this, like, 20-degree weather hitting this 80-degree weather. It's just not going to be as bad as it could be just because of the flow of this severe weather on Thursday. Definitely something to watch out for, though. We're going to have a tornado, wind, and hail chance. I think hail's not going to be that significant. But then more cold air pushes in this weekend, and then everyone's still pissed out here. You guys are still annoyed. You're like, what the heck? This is ridiculous. Get out. Like, no one invited you, right? And then as we get in April 1st, we start to get a lot of moisture, a lot of heat taking over the country. Big heat wave. Lots of rain showers. I don't know that this is going to be too severe. This is like trying to look like it's going to be severe on the reflectivity here. April 2nd, April 1st. I'm not quite sure yet. We would need some sort of... I don't see like a cutoff low or a... I don't see any sort of trough ejection, cutoff low, any sort of upper level low developing down here. I mean, we do kind of have a little something here, I guess, that's going to help us with flow, but I don't know. I'm not quite sold on this yet. I mean, this could be like 4 days of bad severe weather to start off April, and I could be wrong, but let's wait a little bit and see. This just looks like a bunch of heat and a bunch of rain showers to me right now. We do got a low. I mean, we got a low down here. We got a low developing April 1st. A little low developing here. This is tough to tell, though, 220 hours out if this thing's going to develop there. That would help, guys. Lows move counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, so that would pull our Gulf moisture and heat up. This would create a lot of instability. Then you have a back end low. If this happened exactly like this, I guess that would be pretty significant. I just don't see it happening like that. A lot of times you get a little bit of help from the Pacific. You get something thrown off the Pacific here that really, really ignites something. You've got your polar jet sitting like up there in North Pole with Santa Claus, and we're expecting some major trough ejection. Maybe. We'll talk about when it gets a little closer. How's April 25th looking? Not even God knows how April 25th is looking. I don't think someone from April 25th knows how April 25th is looking. That's how far it is away. Models can't see out that far. The CFS can. How's April 25th? Let's look at how April 25th is looking like on the CFS. Oh, the CFS can't even see out to the 25th. It needs one more day. It's looking very rainy across the east with a snowstorm across the Rockies, according to the CFS. Yeah. Even like for our, like the longest you even want to like entertain is 10 days out. So you probably want to wait until like April 15th because models get so sloppy even at 10 days. But technically, like once we get to like April 11th, models will start showing 372 hours out, 360 hours out, 384 hours out towards that time frame. Yep. Great Lakes is near average. Don't know what he's talking about, the 48 hours. What? What are we talking about? What are you talking about? Explain yourself. Storm Chaser J, explain yourself. Explain yourself in front of everyone. Explain yourself. You said out was going to stay colder. You said, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. I need you to explain yourself better than that. You said out was going to stay colder near the Great Lakes. Oh, you said it was going to stay colder near the Great Lakes. Well, here's your current temperature anomalies in the Great Lakes region right now. And if you don't believe me, here's your real-time mesoscale analysis. Rapid update. So, this is below average currently. There it is. Here's the rest of the country. Here it is. This isn't anomalies, but I know what average is out here for the Great Lakes. And then let's go back. Let's go back. Oops. Wait. Take it to the... I always do that. And then let's take a look here. All right. There you go. Let's get into Tuesday. Tuesday stayed average to below average. It's not above average on Tuesday. Maybe Western Great Lakes region. You get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Nice little warm up. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, and then there you go. Below average once again. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Sunday starts to warm up. Definitely, though, as we get into Friday, Saturday, another cool. So you're going to be back and forth. Very spring-like up there in the Great Lakes. You are below average right now. You might get up to average, warm up for a few days midweek, Wednesday, Thursday. Then you get below average again Friday, Saturday, and then you could warm up again on Sunday. Exactly what I explained. Out east, you're going to continue to see these temperature swings until, what did I say, everyone? Till we get into about mid next week, probably until we get about April 1st. That's when it looks like we're getting a little bit of a zonal flow. We'll start to get some warm air from coast to coast. Well, yeah, you're not average right now. You're below average in the Great Lakes region. You're actually significant. I wouldn't say significantly below average, but we're pushing 10 to 15 degrees below average right now. That's not mildly. That's not average. Let's see, Tuesday. And that should be all day tomorrow. As we get into tomorrow evening, yeah, I mean, it looks like all day tomorrow. We could take a look at the short ranges, but, it's definitely going to be, you're going to have some mood swings. We're going to continue to have some very annoying back and forth hot and cold air out east, guys, for quite a bit. Plains and east, but again, as we kick off April, that should stop. What's up? What is going on, George? Opinions on this Godzilla El Nino approaching? I'm guessing a ton of rain for Florida. Yeah, probably. Florida needs some rain too, doesn't it? Florida definitely needs some rain. Definitely need some rain. Let's take a look at the drought monitor for Florida. Actually, I could take a look at that right in weather-wise. As long as it's updated. Let's see if it's updated. Let's take a look. I know Florida's been pretty bad. We got a drought monitor on here, don't we? Let's see here. There it is. Pretty tough. Yeah, I'd say Florida could use an El Nino. What do you guys think? Florida and Texas. I mean, I'd say everyone down here could use it, but especially these areas. South Florida, Texas, yeah, Arkansas. That's rough. It definitely could happen. I could see us getting into a strong El Nino for sure. Right now, projections are moderate El Nino, but we don't know. That's really hard to tell at this range. So I could definitely see us getting into a strong El Nino. We haven't had a strong El Nino in 11 years. Yeah, it looks so bad. It is bad. Tomorrow near average. Yeah, tomorrow's going to start off well below average. And then as the day goes on, as you get towards the evening hours, some average air is going to try to push back in. But you're going to be below, not cold, but below average through the morning hours tomorrow up there in the Great Lakes. For most of the Great Lakes region. East Illinois. I'm tired of the heat already. Boss. I know, right? Can we get winter back? I'm ready. I'm just kidding. What would a strong El Nino bring? A strong El Nino would bring... we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Strong El Nino typically brings cooler temperatures to the south. Let's talk about winter. A stronger, we're gonna likely be kind of peak El Nino wintertime, or getting into peak around wintertime. At least going into late fall. Cooler conditions for the southern tier states. Typically, a better chance for a higher frequency of snowstorms. I think the big snowstorms, I think you have a better chance for like a blockbuster nor'easter that swoops down here and puts snow along the coast in a La Nina, just because of how volatile our polar jet gets. But typically, you see more snow in the south in an El Nino winter. Just the frequency picks up. You're cooler. A big issue isn't the moisture. A big issue during winter isn't a big issue. Yeah, getting snow down here during the winter typically isn't the moisture. It's more of a. It's can we get below freezing? And definitely enough to keep that warm nose out that always ruins snowstorms in the south. So that's typically what you see with an El Nino. It's kind of the opposite up north. This is very broad. There's a lot of things you need to look at climatologically to make a winter forecast, summer, spring, fall. But yeah, El Nino's typically your jet stream your southern jet stream takes over your subtropical jet. Your polar jet isn't as aggressive, and so it can be a little bit drier, a little bit above average up north. Now, you're still up north. It's going to be colder up north than down south, but we're talking about colder than it should be in the south, warmer than it should be in the north, drier up north, wetter in the south. And then a La Nina is the opposite, you know what I mean? And Enzo neutrals are just, they do whatever the heck they want. But in El Nino, which we're transitioning to as well, typically you don't see as aggressive as hurricane seasons. That's because when your waters are warming up along the equatorial Pacific, you see a lot more thunderstorm activity. Warm waters, more evaporation, more thunderstorms, more clouds, more thunderstorms, more latent heat release in our atmosphere, more instability. And then instability is moved east by our westerlies, right? Northern hemisphere, all of our storms move east. So you have all these thunderstorms, all this instability taking over the Caribbean, the Gulf, and the Western Atlantic basin in general. And that makes it really difficult for storms. If we do get strong hurricanes out here, which we can, El Ninos don't typically affect our hurricanes out here. We could still get very strong hurricanes out here, but anytime they try to approach the islands, the Gulf, the states, there's a lot of shear that tries to break them apart. And it's very hard for storms to even form out here because of all that instability that you get during an El Nino off the eastern equatorial Pacific. But... and we were just looking at it, and I'm not going to go back. Well, maybe I will. The MDR is running above average right now, our main development region. This is going to kick off our hurricane season. The waters here are running very cold. It's kind of important if they continue to run cold. We're not going to have a lot of thunderstorm activity. This can actually lessen our shear, but and the waters will still be warm enough to maintain tropical development. So if we are still in a neutral in the eastern equatorial Pacific, we're still in a neutral ENSO cycle. Average to slightly below average waters out here, less thunderstorm activity, and we do have a warmer, above average MDR to kick off hurricane season. We could see a front-loaded hurricane season where we actually get 2-3 strong hurricanes that try to make a run at the States, at the Caribbean. But I really think as we get even towards this middle of hurricane season, it's going to be tough. It does look like we're going to be entering a strong El Nino, and El Ninos kind of really do a good job most of the time of protecting the states from strong landfalling hurricanes. We've had strong landfalling hurricanes during strong El Ninos. It's not foolproof, but the odds go down of strong landfalling hurricanes. Could Philly possibly get impacted by the severe weather? It's possible. I think it's going to be too far west. I think it's going to be. I don't think so. There's not enough. There's barely enough instability over the Midwest where the severe weather on Thursday is going to occur. I don't think that instability is going to be able to be dragged all the way out towards the Mid-Atlantic, in my opinion. I mean, if we could take a look at some of this instability, but the instability is mainly caused by we don't have a strong southerly flow on Thursday, so lower dew points, less of a Bear Clinic temperature boundary here, and that's not gonna our 850 jet is gonna try to pull that instability out east. I don't think it makes it out to the Mid-Atlantic. Let's see. There's surface base cape. Where's my mix layer cape? There it is. Yeah. It don't really want to move out there. It's trying, but it's not getting there. I was watching that dry air that's going to be dumping out over the North Atlantic near Africa. It's not going to bring a strong trade winds to break up storms. Wait, I don't know if I've been paying attention to what you've been watching. Even outside El Nino, the area is known for being a hurricane graveyard. Not always, though. We've had some years. I mean, think about in recent history. God, time flies when you're having fun. What was it? We had those two back-to-back Cat 5 hurricanes in the Gulf, a couple years ago? That thing that formed there, ran right into the coast. Every now and then, the Gulf and Caribbean produce some monsters. But yeah, they're way more likely to be sheared apart in the Gulf and the Caribbean than they are in the open Atlantic. That's for sure. What's going on, Charles? Helene and Milton, thank you. My brain. I have too many name storms over the last year in my head, over the last 2 years. Yep. I mean, the thing about the Gulf is when that thing starts warming up, I mean, the Gulf can easily push at being the warmest body of water on the planet any day in summer, really. I mean, you've got the tropics flowing right into it. The equator, moving that water west. This is all here. Let's go back over to here. All of this water moving west gets shoved up into the Gulf, and you end up getting 90-degree waters off of Tampa, Florida. And it's a quiet hurricane season all year, and suddenly you get a little low pressure that meanders into the Gulf, and then it just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have a Cat 5 hurricane out of nowhere because, there's no greater factor in rapid intensification than water temperature. And the Gulf always makes a run at being the hottest body of water on the planet. Not counting lakes, you know what I mean? So always got to watch the Gulf temperatures. Caribbean will do it too. How's the summer in the Northeast during a strong El Nino? Well, we're not very likely to be in a strong El Nino over summer. ENSOs typically affects You're fluctuate. Enzo's affects summers the least. They affect fall, springs, and winters more. But because summertime, everything is just so hot. Everything becomes subtropical up here. There's a reason we don't see a lot of severe or hardly any severe weather outbreaks during summertime. There's just not a lot of clashing of air boundaries. There's not a lot of instability in the atmosphere. It's very hot, wet, but not very severe. Enzos don't have as big of an effect on it. What they do affect, though, is again, hurricane season. They can definitely put a damper, or I guess if you don't like hurricane season, they can definitely help moderate hurricane season. Unlike La Nina's, which is just like fair game. Strong hurricane gets into the Gulf Caribbean, Western Atlantic. We'll see what happens. I still don't know what's going to be happening with our Bermuda High, guys. George, what do you think about that? West Coast and Gulf Coast storms. Yep, I know. Those storms pull the entire Gulf in. What do you think? I haven't looked into what our Bermuda High placement could be like, but, this is a big deal. You get a high out here. It's a seasonal high. It sets up every single summer, every single hurricane season. Your storms go out to sea. You get a Bermuda High that wants to set up closer to the U.S. Even in an El Nino season, you can get strong hurricanes that push in, try to make landfall. I would say El Nino is better for protecting this area, but you can still get. You're not going to be dealing with the shear out here along the Carolina, Virginia coast. So it's definitely an area still to watch. If we have a far western Bermuda High set up. Brenny, AJ, hey, John, what's going on? If it's a strong Bermuda, yeah. Yep. We don't want a strong, robust Bermuda High sitting off the coast of the U.S. Even in an El Nino year. Loving this, getting cool storms in Ohio like every 4 days. Yeah, it's that time of year. That'll happen. What's going on? What's going on around the country right now, guys? A little bit of snow. A little bit of snow in upstate New York. Okay. Some snow showers moving through portions. Pennsylvania. New England. Maybe a quick snow shower into Boston tonight. Rhode Island. A little bit of snow up there. Northern Minnesota, moving into towards the UP of Michigan. Not much. Pretty quiet. Eugene, Newport, Oregon, you got some rain. Pretty quiet night overall. I feel when people hear El Nino, they put their guard down. Yeah. Yep. I mean, look. La Nina years typically see less snow in the south. Charlotte, North Carolina got a storm this year that dropped 10 to 12 inches of snow in a single storm. Just because it's a certain Enzo doesn't mean a certain situation can happen. There's so many more factors. And I'll do a hurricane outlook. I'll do a hurricane season forecast, and I'll get into all the other factors. But the Bermuda High and our eastern equatorial Pacific water temperatures, surface temperatures, is going to probably be the driving factor in my decision of how active of a season it's going to be. Tough said I got a tornado warning the other day and got rotation on video. I know I saw that. It was sick. Summer temperature outlook for the east. Hot. Yeah, I would expect it probably to run above average. If we were hitting peak El Nino over summer, sometimes that can help to cool conditions, begin to cool conditions even over summer. But being in a neutral, I wouldn't suspect to have some sort of cooler summer than average out east. Yeah. Strong arbitrary wind shear. Yeah, the chop out. Yeah. The vertical shear just takes off the tops, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Florida. I lived in Florida till I was 24. Loved it. Yeehaw! Ride 'em, cowboy. Shout out, B. A year late. Dang it. Let me see if I can show you guys how the Bermuda High works. This is a perfect example. Well, this is a good picture. I think I could show you guys. Okay. This looks like a good article. Is this a good article? It looked like it was a good article. Let me see here.
When you need air, plumbing,
Hold
or
up. We got a commercial. Hold up, guys. I'm working on some behind the scenes stuff for like Meteorology 101, hurricane stuff and everything, but it's not put together yet. So we're gonna let's see if this is a good video. AccuWeather. AccuWeather's usually good, right, guys? You guys ready for a quick science lesson? Wait. Okay, here we go. All right, AccuWeather. All right, it's named after the island Bermuda, where it typically nestles. There you go. This would be we wouldn't want a Bermuda High sitting here. Let's just say that. We would not want a Bermuda High sitting that close to us. This would be a terrible placement as well. Terrible placement for the Bermuda High steers the storms. This would be steered right into us. Okay, they're not showing the other option, which is the option we would like. Okay, all right. They're fear mongering. AccuWeather's fear mongering. No. There's Bermuda High can set up in a different location. What the heck, man? This is much better. Wait. Let's see. Maybe she'll do it for us. Here we go. Oh, we got more commercials. Hold up. More ads. Here we go.
Hey there, I'm meteorologist Erin Thomas, and this is The Breakdown. Now that hurricane season is upon us, we're going to talk about the tracks these potential systems can take heading throughout this hurricane season, all thanks to an area of high pressure known as
TV's
the
on.
Bermuda High. This sits over the Atlantic Ocean right near
I appreciate that,
the
George.
island of Bermuda, which is, of course, where it borrows its
Appreciate
name
that.
from. And again, this has the ability to influence the movement and track of these tropical systems. Here's a map breaking down several different scenarios we could see. So we've got this area.
Thank you. This is what I'm trying to show you guys. You get a weak little Bermuda High setting up there to the northeast, right? Your storms are really struggling. Basically, you would need like any storm that forms like most storms, right? The equator's down here. Storms are going to form somewhere, and storms always form somewhere in these three sectors when they form out here, right? They're like pretty far north or medium. Any storm that forms like in these two sectors, if you have a Bermuda High that's really off far to the east, is going to get just dragged to the north. The only storms that won't be really pulled are storms that form really close to the equator and drift down here into the Lesser Antilles and try to poke up. They may not be manipulated by the Bermuda High, but this is a big, this is a big factor in what happens in hurricane season.
And when it's situated more towards the east, that actually puts the island chain of Bermuda more at a risk for seeing direct impacts or a direct hit from these systems. As it strengthens and moves out towards the west, that actually has the influence to bring these tropical systems all the way through the Caribbean and into the Gulf.
We don't want that.
It can make a landfall anywhere from Texas all the way throughout portions of
that's what we don't want.
The East Coast.
That's what we don't want.
Well, to get more tips and tricks.
And guess what? I don't know where the Bermuda High is going to set up right now. I haven't done enough research on that yet, but I will tell you in a few days because I'm going to figure out. It's crazy. We're about to be in April. When's the last time I was live? Yesterday, but there hasn't been much going on. I took some time off, a little bit of time off, but I'm back. I'm streaming every day. I was supposed to put out a video today, didn't get it out, so I've got to put out a couple videos this week. Obviously, we've got some more severe weather happening in the Midwest on Thursday. Some temperature swings going on. Nothing crazy, though. Nothing crazy. As we get into April, we're going to see there is the chance for a couple days of severe outbreak in the beginning of April. I'm not sold on it yet. I think it's going to end up being pushed towards the second week of April. But if these models continue to show what they're showing, which I'm not really fully buying yet, then I'll probably get pretty busy with content early April. But yeah, back to keeping Discord updated every single day. Listen, we had a meme. We had some good memes in there, and I said whoever had the best meme was gonna win merch, which could be this hat actually. Maybe we should do this should we do this in tomorrow's? Like, let me see. Let me go to our memes real quick. Let me go to our meme channel. Oh, this was funny. No, there are some funny ones in here, guys. There was some funny ones in here. I like this one. NWS, tornado warning continues for St. John, the Baptist parish. What is that? Louisiana? It says population 2. The guy goes, population 2, just text them, bro. That's funny. Like, honestly, just text them. Like, someone text them. They probably live together. Someone call their landline. That's a good one. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. No, this is pretty good too. This is classic spring stuff. Pour it out. Kick her out of the bar. Know the difference. A watch is your mom calling you by your first name. A warning is your mom yelling your full government. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Oh. Dang. That's a good one. That's solid. Where have I been? Purple wind. Oh my gosh. You guys are good. That's funny. I'm scared to watch videos that I haven't clicked yet on here. Yeah, Oklahoma migration season. Yeah, we're going to have to pick one of these guys. We're going to have to pick one of these. Maybe in the stream tomorrow. Maybe I should wait for the weekend. But we'll pick one that was... Yeah, I'll pick someone. I sent someone some free merch. And a PDS emergency is if she starts cussing. Yeah. He takes a bow. Good job. All right, guys. Not much happening. I'll be back on live tomorrow. We'll see. You know, I don't suspect Thursday is going to get too crazy. But if it does, we'll start getting some hints at that tomorrow with our HRRR and NAM3K popping up. So we'll see. We'll see. I think over the next few days, I'll make my decision on if I really think we're going to have some major outbreaks of severe weather. It looks like April 1st through 3rd. Again, not sold quite yet. But I will say, after taking another look at it, there's a setup here. If we were to see this play out exactly like this, yeah. I mean, this is going to be a lot of instability. Depends what's happening with our winds here, but you've got two low pressures here and a high pressure off here to the east. So you got kind of a funnel of instability, moisture, and heat right through this corridor, just like that. And a little bit of cold air to the north, but again, we don't have a crazy Bear Clinic boundary when it comes to temperatures up here. The rest is there, though. Interesting setup here. Interesting setup getting into April 1st and April 2nd. So let's watch that. And if this happens right, you would see multiple days of significant severe weather. So I'm just not totally sold on it yet. How's New Jersey looking for above or below average temps for April? To kick off April, everyone looks like they're going to be hot for the most part across the states. To kick off April. Mezzo, what's popping? We were talking about this. Bear Clinic, boundary-wise, dews aren't crazy. 35 dews up to high 50s, low 60s. A nice kind of fat, dispersed temperature gradient to latch onto, but it's not a sharp gradient. I don't suspect we're going to have any large hail. The only thing that looks impressive about this day is our 850 winds are ripping at 70 knots across Indiana and Ohio on Thursday. It's another one of those high shear, low instability days. I think there's going to be a ton of inhibition because of the lack of southerly flow we have off the Gulf, the dew point issues we're going to have, and the not so significant temperature boundary we're going to have. Give me your thoughts, Mr. Mezzo. Oh, hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Hey, son. Here, before I get off, let's give Matt a call. Let's see if he answers. He's going to be like, I'm in the shower. So that's what always happens. I think Matt actually does live streams from the shower. You just can't tell. Oh.
I'm actually not in the shower.
You're not in the shower? Nice.
No, I just ate a bunch of waffles.
All right. Give chat your opinion on Thursday.
Mostly looks elevated. Damaging winds and hail. I think we get enhanced for a wind threat, but the wind profiles, mid levels and lower levels look basically symmetrical to each other vertically out of the, was it west to east, I think, zonal flow?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Zonal
exactly.
flow. What I told my chat is I think this is good. I told my chat I could see an enhanced wind threat.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5% Sig 1 on tornado. Maybe.
Yeah, I could see it.
And then I don't know about hail, man, just because I think there's like inhibition across the map. But again, if the storms do initiate,
Power lapse rates.
that's a good question, and that's something I haven't looked at. There's the transition. I like to see a sharper dew and temperature gradient when it comes to hail, and it's pretty dispersed, meaning I think there's a lot of, the warm front has a wide area that these supercells can latch onto. I just don't see them being extremely. I don't know if I see large hail here. Here, let me take a look at lapse rates. That's a good question. Let's take a little look-see. Actually, let me cheat here and go into SigTor. Grab something in here. Let's see. I just don't know if this is a coverage day. Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. The lapse rates don't look that impressive to me.
Okay, so wind threat then.
I think it's wind driven. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I just joined your stream. Did you take a look at going to the first week of April? It kind of looks interesting.
Well, yeah. I was saying that I'm just not quite buying it yet for a few reasons.
Yeah.
Our polar jet's way north. We don't really have what looks like a significant kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? We don't have any sort of significant like cutoff low or significant upper level low really pushing across the plains. We have some lows trying to develop off of a little notch in our polar jet over kind of Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska region. I'm just not sold because like if the model does exactly what the Euro and GFS is showing now, yeah, we could have like 4 days of severe weather starting in the plains and moving out east. But I think there's a chance we just end up with a warm zonal flow and we don't get that 850 kicking on across the plains.
I can see that.
We don't get a strong low developing. Yeah.
There is some other guidance that shows that
Yeah.
as well.
There is a very significant high pressure out to the east, kind of right off the coast of the Carolinas. So if you do get a low developing over the Rockies moving east, you will have that like moisture and heat funnel really right through Dixie Alley and portions of the plains. So it's something to watch.
For real. Oh, did you get to mention what's happening over in Europe tomorrow or on Thursday?
I don't think so. What's going on there?
Tornado outbreak, dude.
Really?
The European, if you go over to the Euro run and look at the 12Z from today, you'll see a pretty significant negatively shortwave trough with dews in the 70s for their terms and PDS tours.
Yeah, these lap
Cape was like at 5,000 plus.
lapse rates are pathetic. Wait, so what are you looking at this on? Oh, actually, I can go.
Yeah, it's on Pivotal. You'll just go to the.
You're right.
Continental.
Yeah. Okay, let me take a look at that real quick. Let's see here. Oh, I got to get off of the Rufus. That's right. What should I use? I mean, GFS, Euro.
Euro is showing it best.
Euro's showing it best. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. What part of Europe?
Let's see, what is it?
Are we talking about Great Britain?
Let me check here. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull it back up. So yeah, if you'll go to the Continental, it should be under.
Oh, I see it. There we go.
Under National, Middle East. Under National.
Oh. Interesting. Let me go into. It's weird seeing instability show up at all in Europe.
Right, but they have those the sea there too, so that kind of helps kind of rock things roll in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 degrees Celsius over there is like 77 degree dew points here.
Yeah, let me take a look.
I just thought it was cool. It's rare that they get that over there.
It is. Yeah, you can see all this instability pushing in. You think tornado outbreak?
That's what I'm seeing, and I follow some people that do meteorology.
Really?
They've got a level 4 out of 5 risk.
I don't understand their geography that well out here. What the heck's
I
going
don't
on?
either. I
So, you know, it's easy for me to see potential in the U.S. I mean, you can see there's definitely a low spinning, pushing off through Great Britain, and then slamming basically into France. God, I don't even know all my countries over. France, Germany. Interesting. Yeah, God, I don't understand their geography enough.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one to figure out. I thought I'd tell you that it was kind of cool seeing that.
No, it's cool. No, I mean, not cool. I know what you're saying, though. I want to see how this plays out.
Yep. And we don't have short range models that work over there.
No. Aren't they adding some, though? They've been working on adding them.
Yes. Some of the experimental models, I believe, at the end of this year, going into next year, are supposed to reach that far as well.
Oh, look at the 850.
Yes. Yeah, the 850 is ripping.
There it is. Exactly. Interesting. I mean, some places can get tornadoes with 400 joules per kilogram of cape, and I feel like maybe this is probably one of them. The shear is significant. Wow. Okay. We'll be watching that tomorrow.
June set up here in the United States almost.
Wow. Yeah, that's very interesting. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, probably getting off here in a second, but I'll catch up with you later.
Sounds good, brother.
See ya. There you guys go. Tornado outbreak. Tornado outbreak in Europe tomorrow. I don't know if I believe it. You could definitely get it. You could definitely get some spin-ups. We could definitely get some tornadoes in Europe tomorrow with this setup, but we'll see how significant it is. Britain live coverage, yeah. Yeah, there's just not much cape. High shear, low cape. You can get tornadoes. You can. We're gonna see that the meteorologists out here apparently know. You listen. Different things in every country. Obviously, the reason most tornadoes, 80% of tornadoes on planet Earth happen in the U.S. is because we have a lot of shear, a lot of instability, a lot of heat, a lot more of all the severe parameters than any of these other countries do. Some of them don't need as much to get things going. It has to do with the geography. Mezzo, I appreciate you. Cleveland for Thursday. Keep your eyes open. Definitely possible to get some severe weather. I think it's mostly a wind threat. Tornadoes and hail are possible as well, too. We're going to get our even shorter range models in as we get into tomorrow evening. NAM 3K, HRRR. So we'll get into details of that of that severe event tomorrow night. All right. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get off and I got to get a video out. So got to do my best to get content, forecast, temperature, severe weather. Maybe we'll talk about hurricane season a little bit in my video that I'm trying to put out tomorrow. But I will be, again, regardless, live streaming tomorrow night, updating the Discord so you guys know what's going on. If you want to join the Discord, Connor's Climate Corner, just add me on Discord. I'll add you, make you part of the Climate Crew. Or you can just go into any single one of my videos on YouTube and click the link in the description. Join the Discord. Appreciate all you. What's the snow forecast for April? A little bit in upper New England, maybe a little bit for the northern plains right now. Don't really see much anywhere else. Maybe a little bit for the mountains, Pacific Northwest in general. All right, guys. Everyone have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. And if you see the video posted tomorrow, watch it and say what's up. All right. See you guys. Thank you, mods.